Hi, I'm Eden Mary Gator. I'm the CEO of a company called $1 Communications. We specialize in advertising, marketing, customer experience management, public relations, branding, business development services and strategies, and other media communications oriented solutions. Essentially, we're an all-in-one agency. I'm 23 years of age and also a mother of a daughter currently in her terrible twos. And I want to take time to share a brief message for young women, especially those facing the challenges of motherhood. Being a mother, I encourage you not to see motherhood as a roadblock that prohibits you from attaining your goals, as many may perceive it to be, but rather to see it as just an added responsibility that you can manage. A challenge of motherhood is one where it requires a little more focus and time management. And so once committed to that, the rewards are well worth it. I also want young women, including mothers, to know that today we live in an information-enriched environment supported by ever-emerging technology and the immense opportunities that come with it. So we live in a time like no other in history where we're only limited by our imagination and by our willingness to think. So I encourage you to redefine how you may perceive and use technology and the internet, and not to see it as just a playground, but to see it as a learning center and as a means of empowerment to acquire knowledge and skill. For me, I chose to leverage technology throughout the process of creating my company, $1 Communications. So at the time of graduating high school, I had the opportunity to go to college, but as I was learning about the digital shift that was occurring, I chose the informal learning avenue. And I can now say that the avenue I chose is a viable option and can be a viable and more immediate option for you as well, though it requires self-commitment. For example, when conceptualizing the vision for my company, the concepts of advertising, marketing, PR, branding, and customer relations were constantly being redefined and still are due to the fast-changing digital landscape, which as a result continues to create new ways and new methods for these communication disciplines to be applied. So with my decision to pursue this new developing concept called digital communications and taking a self-learning approach, I had to really commit. And I was challenged to really broaden my thinking, because it's one thing to practice and study proven methods, but it's another when you're faced with having to think and adjust with a rapid changing environment. So it compels you to go beyond linear thinking. In the same way for you, you can leverage technology to be empowered in your learning process, and not just through developing your ability to think, but also in your ability to create, and thus create the future that you want. See, as women and as mothers, what we essentially do is not only for ourselves or for our families, but it's for future generations. So everything that we choose to do is essentially a step towards what's next. And the only way to be certain of the future is to create it starting today. And I say this especially to young women and mothers who may feel that they need to first complete traditional studies before getting started with a suitable career or business, when right now you can advance to become proficient in whatever area or interest you choose to pursue. Because the reality is, technology provides the means to support our journeys and to even make it more flexible and enjoyable. It further enables you to be an entrepreneur and earn sources of income. You may find as well that you can attain your financial goals in a shorter time period than if you were to solely go through the more traditional processes. And for us mothers, this is something that we can really benefit from. So with the right use of technology, we can experience rewarding benefits. But again, it all requires self-commitment. And I know that for many, the idea of committing to this process can seem overwhelming when your life is already considered to be extremely busy as is. And for me, having to balance motherhood and a self-learning approach while building my company, I can say that yes, it was a challenge and it still is at times. But it's not nearly as hard as it's thought to be after fully engaging in the process and experiencing progress. So really the only challenge is being required to think beyond your familiarities to essentially create the life that you want. So it's less about being busy with the life that you currently have in hope of a better life, and it's more about taking time to create and follow through with the life that you can envision today. And with self-commitment, technology supports you to do that in the most empowering way possible. Another thing to consider that's simple but yet so powerful is that despite whatever willingness we have, we can only put out into this world what we have in here. And we can only contribute to our families what we have in here. So it's important to always feed and enrich your mind, especially as people and the world at large is always seeking for value with a readiness to further pay for it. And there's a saying that when we add value first, the money will follow. So with that in mind, the only way to provide that value is to make yourself valuable through constant acquisition of knowledge and skill. Not to mention in the process, you can find yourself improving on a personal level, which through you can go on to impact your family and the people around you in a positive way. So by seeing the process of education or career or business as not just a means to an end, but rather a lifelong opportunity to receive knowledge and to think and to contribute value, is an empowering mindset that we can use to create our future starting today. And I say all of that to say, don't limit yourself. As young women and mothers included, we should feel empowered going forward. I know that in an overly critical culture, especially towards mothers and young mothers and teen moms, it's easy to get caught up in the perception of others. But I want you to know that the only thing that's proven to truly matter is simply becoming the best version of who you are. And it happens when we work to become better than we were yesterday, while still knowing that we're not as good as we'll be tomorrow. So I'll leave you with that. If this message resonates with you, please like this video and follow me on social media. Also, if you have anything to add, I'm interested to hear from you, so please comment your thoughts. And until next time, have a great day and continue well on your journey of success.